Hey guys, so we are doing week 5, assignment number 2. This is war in Europe. Yesterday you did the war in the Pacific map with Ms. K. So today we're going to talk about the war in Europe map, which is your second assignment. So just looking at the map, first of all, I know that looks kind of overwhelming, but don't worry, we're going to break it down. We're going to do just like Ms. K did yesterday, go through all these questions before we actually start working on the map. And now I'm not going to go over all the map details in depth like she did because she gave you a rundown of every part of the map yesterday and gave you a review of stuff from week 1 of school. So I'm not going to do that, but we are going to talk about these questions and kind of go over them. Okay. So we're just going to start like Miss K did yesterday by highlighting the important stuff. And I'm going to pick a color that I like. So again, we're using the information provided on the map to answer the following questions. So what major battle, I'm going to highlight battle, was fought in France from December 1944 to January 1945. Right? Those are important dates. These are all things that we need in order to answer that question. I'm going to highlight France too because it tells us the country. All right. According to the map, what major event happened on June 6, 1944? All right, so we're looking for an event on June 6, 1944. According to the map, what major battle was fought in North Africa in 1943 from February 14th to the 22nd? So major battle in North Africa, February 14th through the 22nd of 1943. What two nations were at the head of the Axis powers in Europe? So we're looking for two nations who led the Axis powers. According to the map, list the 6 nations that were Axis powers. So we are here just making a list of the 6 nations that made up the Axis powers. According to the map, list the 7 nations that were Allied powers. So again, we're just listing who belonged to what alliance. According to the map, list the 5 nations that remained neutral during World War II. So we are listing 5 nations who were neutral. There were some. According to the map, list 6 of the 14 Axis occupied areas. So we are listing 6. There are 14 of them, but we're just looking for 6 Axis occupied areas. All right, so a lot like the map yesterday, some of these questions are pretty easy to come up with answers. I just want to get you guys started and looking at the map. All right. So the first question, just to remind ourselves what we're looking for on this first one, is what major battle was fought in France from December 1944 to January 1945. So we're going to scroll up to the map here, and we are going to try and locate France. All right, so France is here. I'm going to circle it for you. France is here. All right. And if we look at the key, scroll down a little bit, we notice that the kind of striped look is an Axis occupied area. So France was an Axis powers occupied area. All right, but remember our question was, what battle was fought in France from December 1944 to January 1945? And if you look here, you can see those dates. All right. So if you read above that, it says Battle of the Bulge. So we're going to scroll down into our questions, and we're going to type Battle of. And because I'm a nice student and want my teachers to be able to see when I answer a question, I am going to highlight my answer in a different color. I might even make it bold. Just makes it easier for us to see. All right, so Then I'm going to talk to you about the key for a second. All right, because obviously this map doesn't provide you with a list of who was Axis and who is allied powers, or who's neutral. All right, so we're just going to look here and kind of talk about the different colors. All right, so Axis powers are that dark shaded gray. All right, so if we scroll up and try to look for ones that are dark shaded gray, let's look at the most obvious. Okay, we know that Germany is an Axis power. So now we know what color on our map we're referencing to determine who's an Axis power. All right, so if you look on the map, you've got Germany, Austria, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, Italy, Finland, right? You've got all these countries right in Central Europe who we are considering to be Axis powers, okay? Then you've got that one like France was, right? The lines kind of through it. Those are, again, Axis occupied areas, right? So if we scroll up, right, obviously we know France. We've already talked about that one. We've got Norway up here, an Axis occupied area. We've got Poland, Yugoslavia. All right, we've got some parts of the Soviet Union that are Axis occupied. Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. All right, we've got all of these. Greece. All of these are Axis occupied areas. Okay, then we're going to scroll back down. Allied powers and possessions. All right, so the Allied powers have this kind of like spotted look, a little bit different. All right, a spotted kind of look. So if we scroll back up, we're going to pick ones that we obviously know and then kind of compare that color, because I know the map is kind of hard to see. So you've got the United Kingdom, right? We know that's an allied power in Europe. All right, there aren't very many specifically in Europe. All right, you've got the United Kingdom, and then over here you've got Iran, Syria, Iraq, Transylvania down there, and then the Soviet Union. All right, you've got all of this, that half of the Soviet Union, or not half, it's not half, but that part of the Soviet Union, which is part of the Allied powers. You've also got Corsica down here, tiny little island. All right, so that is our Allied powers. Like you know, there's not very many in the heart of Europe. All right, and then you've got neutral nations, which I always think is fun. So you've got these neutral nations down here. And we see that their color is a very light gray. So you look and you've got Portugal and Spain, you've got Morocco. And then right in the heart of all the fighting, right in the heart of everything, you've got tiny little Switzerland here. So if you ever hear anybody say that they're Switzerland in an argument, they're referring to World War II, when Switzerland didn't get involved, they didn't pick a side, they did not do any fighting, they didn't do any arguing, they didn't do any negotiating, right? They were Switzerland, they were totally out of it. So if you've ever heard somebody say they're Switzerland in an argument, this is what they're referring to. That's where that idiom came from. All right, so then you've got Ireland up here, you've got Sweden, Turkey, right? All of these are neutral nations, okay? So I marked up that map pretty good. So if we scroll back down to our questions again, right, there are multiple places where it asks you to list nations or to say what nations were the head of the Axis powers. 5 nations that remained neutral, right? So going ahead and breaking down the map like that's really going to help you answer really questions 4 through 8. Okay. Then we're going to scroll back up. And I do want to mention a couple of things from the key here. Your Allied advances are the darker line. Allied air operations are the lighter line. So that means anything that happened in the air, so planes. And then the little explosion is major battles, right? So whenever the questions ask you for major battles, you are looking for these little explosions that you see. All right. I hope this helps you guys answer these questions. As always, if there's something you don't understand, join our office hours or send us an email. All right. Bye, guys.